In this video, I want to give some spiritual coaching questions. You know, as a disciple maker, a big part of discipling people is helping them take their next steps in their relationship with Jesus. And so sometimes people just need a little bit of coaching, a little bit of encouragement on taking those next steps. Dave Ferguson, in his book Exponential, gives 6 spiritual coaching questions when meeting with a disciple. Now, within the context of his book, it's coaching up ministry leaders. But I think that these questions are helpful really for anyone that you may be discipling spiritually. And so I want to just give you these 6 questions that you want to ask, and then kind of as they're answering, walk through those with them. And, you know, sometimes we think that discipling is just about the stuff we say, the advice we give, but part of it is being a good listener. And so these are questions we want to ask, and as we ask them, to really listen to how the one we're discipling is answering these questions so that we can help them take their next steps with Jesus. Here they are. Question number 1, how are you? So just kind of a general question, but how are you doing? How are things going? It's been said they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so this is just taking time as you're meeting with somebody just to find out how they're doing. The next question then is, what are you celebrating? This allows you to start on a positive. Listen, we all have things we need to work on. We all have things in our lives that aren't what they ought to be or should be or we'd want them to be. But this starts with the positive. What are you celebrating? What are some things that are going well? What are some yay God moments in your life? And take time and celebrate them with the person that you're discipling. Affirm them for those things. And then the next question is, what challenges are you facing? In your spiritual life, what are some of the challenges you're facing? It may be they're struggling to find time to get into God's Word, or maybe they just feel like their prayer life is stifling or has been stifled, or it could be a number of things. But giving them a chance to share what those challenges are. And then not just leave it at that, but the fourth question, how will you solve those challenges? Now, this is how Dave Ferguson puts in his book. I'd probably word it a little bit different, but but basically that idea of, okay, what steps are you going to take to face that challenge? You know, what are some, and this is where it gets really practical, where you can kind of help brainstorm with them on some steps that they can take. You know, sometimes we meet with people and they just want to be heard, and that's okay. Sometimes we just a good listening ear, but being a disciple maker is also helping them take steps, not just stay where they're at. And so when they share their challenges, really encourage them, okay, what specific steps, biblical steps you're going to take. Then this is really important. Number 5, this is why you're a disciple maker. Number 5, how can I help you? Ask them, what part could you play in helping them take their next step with Jesus, whatever challenges that they're facing. And then number 6 is, how can I pray for you? So specifically, how can I pray for you about these things that we've talked about? And then just spending time in prayer. I think sometimes we underestimate just the power of prayer and how important that really is. Sometimes we tack it on at the end, and while it's the last question here, it's not just a quick 5-minute prayer kind of to end your time together, but it's really just going to battle with and for that person and praying very specifically to the things that they shared in your time meeting together. Whether you're meeting over coffee or you're taking a walk together or whatever the case may be, as you're meeting with the person that you're seeking to disciple, these are 6 great questions. And a great way to end it is with that 6th one, how can I pray for you? And then taking time to do that. And then, of course, following up with them. And ask them, hey, how are those things we talked about, how are they going? Hey, those steps that we talked about taking, the challenge you're facing and the steps of taking, how is that going? And then, of course, whatever part you said that in helping them solve those challenges, whatever part you take is following through on that, making sure you're doing that. That'll help build trust with them. So, how are you? What are you celebrating? What challenges are you facing? How will you lean in and try to solve those challenges? How can I help? And how can I pray for you? And then locking arms and praying together about those things. Very practical, but questions I think will help you as you're seeking to disciple another person. Hope it's been helpful.